So Larry Nichols joins us. Larry Nichols, God bless you, my friend. Obviously, I want to cover free speech in a few minutes before break. I want to come back, give you the floor, get into the fact that you're the main source for these big news articles exposing the deaths, Vince Foster, the murders, the Arkancides, the rapes, the cover-ups, and Trump's taking the gloves off, so that's exciting. But thank you for joining us.
You bet. Well, thanks for having me, Alex. Sorry about that. Everything you just said is exactly true. And what's really incredible, Alex, typically you and I talk about these things. Excuse me for this thing.
Listen, I should tell listeners he's battling cancer. He needs your prayers. He looks really rough. He's got a tracheotomy in right now, and he's tougher than a box of nails. So we love you. Go ahead, brother.
Well, it's not a trach. I just got an extra hole. They seem to think I need some more holes in me. But let me tell you, this is not coming from us, Alex. Now it's coming from other sources. But what is incredible, just as you had predicted, and I've said, hey, guys, it's out there, but isn't it amazing you still don't hear it? Used to, they'd say, well, that's nothing. That's Alex Jones or Larry Nichols or some of these nutbag sensationalist conspiracy nuts. But now all of a sudden it comes out by Reuters, other people, creditable people in the industries. And guess what? Now you just don't hear about it. Alex, do you realize they could be stealing the world right now? All that's on the news is this campaign. That's it. 24-hour news is 24 hours this campaign. And what is incredible, you got, bless his heart, a gorilla that was killed. That takes precedence over the information that's coming about the destruction of our financial
system. That's right.
System.
The top story's the gorilla for 2 days. And meanwhile, the entire internet freedom and free speech is being demolished. Europe has fallen. Even mainline news calls it martial law. And they're arresting people. They're arresting presidential candidates. I mean, just all hell's breaking loose. And all we're looking at is campaign 2016.
That's right. And, folks, I'm going to tell you, you're starting to see some of the things that I said, Alex, a couple, 3 weeks ago right here. You're starting to see them start to manifest. You're starting to see them unfold. The major financial players in the world, they've even got a name for it now. It's called not bailing out. They call it bailing in. And you know what their bailing in plan is? And I'm talking about the heads of these big 5 major banks. You know what their plan to bail in means?
Absolutely. They're going to bankrupt everything, claim you got to save the system, give themselves unlimited trillions, and then set themselves up with even more governmental power.
Giving themselves the money. They're going to take your money, claim they have to repatriate your money to help pay the bills, but they're planning to keep it for themselves. They're going to walk away from this thing, so they think, and they're going to have all this money. Now, the joke of jokes is, if they'll look back in history, usually when the dictators take power, they've got all these cohorts that go with them. But you know what, Alex? When everything's said and done, those cohorts are the first ones to go, because dictators don't like people around them. They don't like people around them that have made it.
And that know where the bodies are buried, and that could use things against them in the future. In every tyranny that's taken over in planetary history, always the Quislings, the minions, the establishment wannabes, the people that thought they were safe, didn't realize there was a dossier for a Night of the Long Knives to take them out the minute the real hammer drops.
Absolutely. And, folks, that's coming here. The only thing that I would say before we go break, Alex, is
I skipped it. It's too important. We're not going to even have a show soon if this continues. Everybody knows it. Hammer's coming.
Okay. Look, guys, listen to me. I want to say a message, if I may, Alex. Hillary, come here, girl. Look in my eyes, girl. Let me tell you what's going to happen, Hillary, me and you. Now, you're either going to have to go through me, you're going to have to go over me, but you're not going to be able to go around me. This is going to be a match of this is your life. And everything I know, and you know I know, is going to come out. So you better get right with Jesus, because your chances of being president of the United States that you've wanted since 4 years old, I assure you this day, ain't going to happen. Now, Alex, with that, I'd say to Hillary, you better start looking. If she would change today, if she would change today and start thinking about the people of this country. That would make a difference. But you see, she won't. She won't. Obama has successfully stripped us of our three branches of government. But do you know where that came from? That came from Bill Clinton. The first day Bill Clinton took office, ladies and gentlemen, please remember this. He fired 111 federal prosecutors the first day in office. Now, do you know who appointed the ones to replace him? Hillary. Why? Because, you see, they've got it set up. Obama does it. They got it set up to where, let's say you've got Hillary raping some woman downtown Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, if they control the federal prosecutors, who are you going to go to get them prosecuted? Then they came in and they have taken control of the Justice Department. They have now fixed it thanks to Bill Clinton and, yes, George W. Bush and Barack Hussein Muslim Obama. They have fixed it to where there is no longer three distinct co-equal branches of government, Alex.
And that's why everything they've got set up is to try to send in the military. If coalitions of states say no during martial law to go along with, say, arresting all the conservatives or the patriots, they're going to try to send in special ops to take over the state houses. But the special ops know they're being trained for this. They know it's a setup. The problem is there'll be big false flags blamed on patriots, kids killed, schools shot up, you name it, to try to sell the idea. But I don't think that's going to work. I think the New World Order has bitten off more than they can chew, studying the waterfront. But unfortunately, the battlefront, the battlescape, unfortunately, though, Larry, correct me if you think I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. They're still going ahead. So this is like a juggernaut about to run into another juggernaut. This is going to be explosive.
It is. And I'll tell you right now, the whole reason behind normalization of Cuba. Now, I ran into the Cubans in Nicaragua. I ran into them in Afghanistan, of all places. I mean, wherever the Soviet Union used to be, they would send in Spetsnaz, Alex, and the Spetsnaz were the special ops like we have today. They would come in with their advisors, Spetsnaz, and then they bring in the Cuban black hats. They were the fighters. They were the ones that did the dirty work. Now, 6 hours, 250,000 of those black hat Cubans could be in this country. 6 hours. Obama knows it. Everybody on the Joint Chiefs staff know it. Everybody that's working every day on the FEMA Provisional Government drawing board, the ones that do the games every day, they know it. So, yeah, we've got this big explosion because I do not believe, Alex, I refuse to believe that Obama, Hillary, Bill, anybody, I don't believe anybody is going to be able to take the United States of America soldier and get him to turn on the population. It's just not going to happen.
Well, listen, I concur with everything you say, other than the Cuba thing. And I know you fought those guys, and I understand that they just used them over there in Syria and all the rest of it. But I see the normalization happening. But that would unify the American people to bring in foreigners. But I look at all the La Reconquista propaganda that's been done in most of the country. If it was pushed from that perspective and as a leftist overthrow, it might actually work in certain sectors of the country, and then that's just a breakup of the nation. But do you think the elite would actually try something like that?
You bet they would. Look, Alex, this is what I'm trying to point out to the American people. Do you realize in this election thus far in this presidential election, over half of the people that have voted in this primary have willfully voted for either an announced socialist or a progressive, which is another name for a communist in Hillary. Yeah, they're looking right now. This is what's driving this, Alex. The elite see that they believe the American people are ripe. They think it's now. And the thing is, they got to do it now, because just like we know this is our last election to where we're going to be relevant, they see this as the time. And if they miss this window in time, it may be 10, 20 years before they ever get this nation back
history
to the
shows
vulnerability it's in now.
That elites do wild things and do bite off more than they can chew. And I see them, the activity at 50 times what it used to be. And I see the color revolutions George Soros pulls in Europe and the Middle East. And I see him running things. And it looks like he's got wide-body jets ready to get out of here in 5 minutes' notice. So you may be right. Regardless, they're trying to push racial division, cultural infighting, Larry Nichols. They're accelerating that. The Justice Department's accelerating that. How does that feed into this?
Well, what's happening right now, if you look, they've got the police in this nation to where every time they stick their head up and do their job, they're prosecuted, they're attacked viciously by the black community, Black Lives Matter. And so what they're being forced into doing is they're being forced into retreat. Look at Chicago. How many people this weekend were murdered in Chicago? I don't know, 40, 60, whatever. They're going to get major cities, Chicago, Dallas, Atlanta, etc. They're going to get major cities in a situation to where the people, Alex, the people, they're going to go to the federal government and say, dear God, the police can't handle it. Send in the government and protect us. That's what they're playing for, Alex. They're not playing. So that's where everybody gets it, I think, a little wrong. They think they're going to come in as jackbooted thugs, march down our street, and force us into submission.
No, it's done in the first wave, so the military thinks they're doing a good job, too, because they're good people. That's the first wave. Then the organizers, the socialists, the national security force that Obama talked about, that should be just as big and strong as our military, it's in the next phase. So it's an incremental takeover. By the way, Chicago had the highest crime rate in the world last year. It's doubled that this year and is set to quintuple again. So clearly, and then I see articles every day, white racist police officers arrested people. Okay, or punch somebody. Okay, prosecute them. But is 20 black people killed in a single day or in a single weekend is by black people? Is that important? Or is it the racist cop? I mean, that they then project onto all the police to collapse the police and collapse the city.
That's right. And then they break the backs and they break the hearts of our police. And the police withdraw. You know, hey, if you were a policeman and you're not going to be supported by the community to which you serve and protect, if every time you do what is your job, which is highly dangerous and puts you in very touchy situations, when you have to respond, that same community that you're trying to protect attacks you, not the people that you were protecting them from, the police are going to back up. And that's all Obama and these elitists need.
I know.
As you say,
you're right. I mean, you've been involved in the overthrow of countries. You've been involved in the stopping them. And I know you know what you're talking about. I see it happening. I just cannot believe they're actually trying a leftist communist playbook, destabilization, overthrow. But it appears, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a dry run. This is not a beta test. It appears they're really looking to go
We're on
with
the
this.
march.
Stay with
the
us.
empire.
You know, I'm going to say this because I want people to supporting. During the breaks, Larry has to go to the bathroom. He's really focusing and even be able to be on air with us right now. He's battling lung cancer. They don't want me to tell people that, but it's known. The government knows that. He knows they can slip in and take him out and, use the fact that he's so sick as the cover there in the home of Arkansas. But his information on Hillary and Bill is out there. It's in a lot of different places. It's going to start rolling out, as you've been seeing through Trump and obviously the National Enquirer. And I mean, this isn't a guy over here saying he's talking to the Trump people. We probably won't even get into this. Or when I have Colonel Smith-Meck on, who's exposing what base is shipping arms on a train to Mexico to be sent to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. You understand, when they come on this show, they get physically attacked, a few days after, or they get death threatened, or the Justice Department calls up and threatens Plumlee. We're not up here saying, hey, we're tough guys. We're up here saying, this country's being taken down in front of everybody. The public's in a trance. And if we expose their plans to use an economic collapse and race war to bring in martial law, as they've pretty much already done in Europe, they may have to back off. And then people say, oh, you're a fearmonger, it didn't happen. Oh, like the NSA spying or the Internet ID. It's all going to happen if we don't stop them. You understand?